Drummond laying on the floor, all sprawled out like he's dead. Is Donovan Clingan, one of the few guys in this league that is bigger than Drummond, and he just tossed him aside. Drummond is 6'11", 290. He is 31 years old. Donovan Clingan just turned 21.
And there he was, laying on the floor like he's dead. Another great Travis Demers call as the Blazers go into Philadelphia, walk in to the Wells Fargo Center, and walk out victorious 119-102. Welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation with us tonight 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. And, of course, you can follow both myself and my producer, Brenden, over on social media at Chris J. Burkhardt and B_slot, respectively. What a game, though, for your Blazers. They got the bounce back win, right? And they needed that after a great game that they played the last night. Well, I guess yesterday morning. Everything's a blur, right? But they played yesterday in Cleveland, and they took the best team in the NBA to task, right? They marched toe-to-toe with them. They made them work. They almost left Cleveland with a victory. Now, they didn't get the victory, but they still played one of their better games of the year. So you would hope that they'd be able to bounce back in Philly. And in this one, I think for a half of basketball, they looked like a team that was on the second night of a back-to-back. Absolutely, they did. It was, these points were coming. It looked high scoring, but the game had no flow in that first quarter and in that second quarter. And things changed a little bit in the second half. I mean, Philadelphia got out early to the 20-9 lead, and the Blazers were struggling. 1 of 8 from the floor. They eventually go on a run themselves 20-9 to make it 29-all. That's a lot of 2s and 9s, my friends. But the 76ers had a 32-29 lead after the first quarter. So out of the gate, it was the tires were just spinning in the mud for a second. It took the Blazers just a little bit to get going. Then in the second quarter, it was a 29-27 quarter in favor of the 76ers, but it felt exactly like the first quarter, if we're being completely honest. It just felt like, they're scoring, they're getting some stops, but neither team truly felt like they were in a rhythm at any point. And they both were playing a very similar game. 76ers shot 44% to the Blazers 43% in that first half. The 76ers shot 35% from deep. The Blazers shot 29% from deep. They out-rebounded the 76ers 33-29, but the 76ers did have 18 first half assists, right? So, okay, that's what's kind of setting them apart early as they had that lead. But then Portland needed to figure something out. And in the third quarter, they absolutely figured that out. They started out the third quarter 14-3 right out of the gate. They took a 70-64 lead, and they outscored the 76ers 35-20 in the quarter to grab a 91-81 lead. 14 points. That was the total amount scored by Anthony Simons in the third quarter alone. Then it came to the fourth, and at that point, it was a little bit of cruise control. Like it was one of those games where they were kind of in a point where you didn't feel like Philly was going to come back, but it just still wasn't quite comfortable enough. But they got it done, and then they kept pouring it on. And the final score in this one, 119-102 in favor of your Portland Trailblazers. And again, the first half felt like they were definitely a team on the second night of a back-to-back. And then in that second half, they flipped that switch a little bit. They held the 76ers to 41 points in the second half. I say held because you compare that to the game yesterday in Cleveland, where Cleveland scored 40 points in the fourth quarter alone. Think about that for a second. So it took the 76ers a half to score one more point than the Cavs did in the fourth quarter yesterday. And again, defensively, I thought they started to lock in. They started to get it done and do what they needed to do. And this was another good victory. And I think it's a good victory because, again, the way it happened, shook off the cobwebs. Maybe they woke up from that nap. You know, first quarter, everyone's going through their pregame routine. You know, you look over, maybe a couple Blazers still doing their, okay, I guess we're going to go play today. Woke up from your nap, and sometimes it just takes a minute to get going. right? And they did. So kudos to them for not letting it slip away in the first half and then slamming the door in the second half like they needed to. Looking at the 76ers side of things, Justin Edwards had 16 points, 6 rebounds. Ubaselli had 9 points in this one. Andre Drummond turned back the clock, my friend. 25 points, 18 rebounds. Great performance from him, to be quite honest. Quentin Grimes had 14 points. Tyrese Maxey had just 5 points and 6 assists, but he left early with a nagging injury. Lonnie Walker had 13 off of the bench for the 76ers. On the Blazers side of things, Tumani Kamara, 11 points, 9 rebounds, and an assist. Denny Avdia, not the greatest game. He struggled a little bit. Coach Billups talked about it post game, kind of taking him out at certain spots just to, hey, just relax a little bit, man. Don't push it. He ended the night with 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So again, still found ways to impact the game. It just wasn't that triple double that he had the night before. Donovan Clingan, a great game, 13 points, 13 rebounds, another double double. Also had 3 blocks. So great game for DC, as the Trailblazers PR team pointed out. That is his 4th double double of the season. Also, it is his 10th game with 3 or more blocks. That is the 5th most by a rookie in Trailblazers history. 20 points for Shaden Sharp, who also had 11 rebounds in this one. 34 points from Anthony Simons, 13 of 26 from the floor, 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. So a great game for Ant. Scoot Henderson came in. He had 7 points, 6 assists, 13 points off the bench for Dewap Reith. Now, you look at how the team performed overall. What was one of the things we said they needed to do in this one? Okay. Go back to pregame. And I said what they needed to do was they needed to attack hard on the glass because Philadelphia is not a great rebounding team. So don't let them get easy ones, make them work for it, take advantage of it, and get out in transition, get easy points. Well, the Blazers out rebounded the 76ers 61-43 in this one. So a great performance by the Trailblazers on the glass. And I think if you look around the box score, both the Blazers shot 48%, 76ers shot 43%. Both teams shot 31% from beyond the arc. Blazers had 6 more free throw attempts, but only made 3 more free throws than the 76ers. 26 and 27 assists, respectively. The fouls were right in line. Each team had 6 steals. What set them apart? The rebounding game. Again, 61-43. So a great performance on the glass from the Trailblazers. And it's nice when you see guys like Shaden Sharp go out there and get double-digit rebounds to add to Donovan Clingan. We've seen Tumani Kamara do it. We've seen Denny Avdia do it. We've seen all these guys add to it. So again, great performance for the Blazers, especially when you consider there's no DA, there's no Robert Williams, no Jeremy Grant, he says jokingly, his 2 rebounds per game. You know what I'm laying down. But again, the Blazers did what they needed to do. And again, that's great. That's great. What more you can say, right? I mean, they go out on this road trip. And a lot of people were talking about this road trip. Okay, well, if they win like 2-3 games on this road trip, that's pretty good, right? It's going to be a really hard road trip. Granted, they have they have gone through the easy part more or less, right? They got the Jazz and the Wizards and the Nets, and now the 76ers, who aren't a great team, they got them out of the way. But they also didn't roll over in Cleveland. They went toe to toe with a really, really good team. But now you look at this road trip, right? And they're now sitting there 5 games into this road trip, and they've won 4 of them. That's pretty good. Looking ahead, though, they got Boston on Wednesday and OKC on Friday. So this road trip does not end very easily. But if they can take on those 2 teams and play similarly to how they played this entire trip, especially that game in Cleveland, then maybe you're going to be in for some good basketball games, all right? Now, if they go drop one in Boston, they go drop one in OKC, which, again, odds would say that's probably going to happen against, teams that are that darn good. But they come back on a road trip that they went 4-3 on. Yeah, that's good. Anytime you can go on a 7-game road trip and come back with a winning record from it, you had yourself a pretty good road trip. Also, shout out to the YouTube chat for enjoying the T-shirt I'm wearing today. The Timmy Hammock says that shirt is amazing. That's right. It is very bad to steal Joe Boo's rum. Very bad. Very bad. All right. If you want to join the conversation and you're like, who's Timmy Hammock? What are you talking about? Han in King City, one of our first time commenters. He's been here since day one of the YouTube, right? Who are those guys? Find out. Go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. You can join the chat there, and you can see this wonderful t-shirt and this ugly mug of mine on YouTube here on the fifth quarter. And of course, you can also grab your phone, dial 503-248-0620, and get in on the chat there as well. We're going to take a quick little break here on the fifth quarter, though. When we come back, it's time for our drive of the night and the shot of the night. We'll continue to break down this game a little bit, dive in on it, get you ready for Boston and OKC coming up as well, and other stuff too. You still got Coach's Corner, all the good stuff that you guys are used to here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
It's time for the fifth quarter shot of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Reith hands it to Ben. Turns the corner, slides it to Reith. Now to Ant. Open three on the way. Buries it. 30 points for Anthony Simon. That is his fifth 30-point game of the season.
It's time for the fifth quarter drive of the night on your home of the Portland Trailblazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Now here's Henderson, stripped away, loose, but Sharp has it, dunks it in the face of Andre Drummond. Timeout 76ers.
That's right. Another one bites the dust as the Blazers go into Philadelphia, grab the 119-102 victory over the 76ers. Welcome back into the fifth quarter. You want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. And, of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and get in on the chat there where Jackson says that they're hyped for the Bill Walton night. That's coming up. That's going to be on Sunday, right? On the 9th, right after the road trip. I'm already counting this down, Brenden, because I leave tomorrow to head out to Baker City. I got to cover some OSA high school basketball championships. So my man Brendan's going to be filling in. He's gonna get the Boston OKC game while I'm watching, Manor House and Cascade and all these other small schools. Because I'm gonna hit Pendleton and then Baker City, Coos Bay for a minute. Then I'm going to wake up early Sunday morning to drive back to Portland from Coos Bay. I'll be riding shotgun while the boss is driving. But we'll get home just in time for me to get in the car and head to Moda Center for Bill Walton night, baby.
I told you got to get me a headband, dude. I'll pay you, Chris.
It is a gauntlet. Well, you come on, just produce the show from the arena with me. Go. I got some tie-dye shirts I can wear. Or I got to get a tie-dye polo. Got to do something. But that's going to be that would be nice to get there, pay some respects to one of the best to ever do it, right?
Big Red, man.
Big Red, 77 championship. And, that's going to be a big night there with old Bill Walton. I do miss the, have you ever been to the edge of a volcano? Like he had some of the best. I
think Bill Walton, anyone who was around the Trailblazers or just NBA, like in some way, everyone has the Bill Walton story. When I was even at college, Bill Walton came down to KBVR, Oregon State's radio station, recorded a liner, and the way he speaks, just like the mighty Willamette River, and just like right? just I walked and felt all the wind through the trees, and I felt so alive. It just either Bill was you loved Bill, or maybe you didn't love Bill as a commentator. I was one of those people, absolutely adored Bill, and man, those of you who are listening and got a chance to see him play in a Trailblazer uniform, I will forever be jealous.
See, that's the thing, too, with Bill is, I think the reason people didn't like him, Brenden, is because he just came across as a little bit of a tryhard, as he's trying to make you laugh. But I think that was the people who didn't understand that was Bill Walton.
Right. Or
Bill Walton wasn't really, leaning into a character. He was just out there and just kind of having a good time.
Or even just, his basketball calls. I remember the very famous one when Dave Pasch is like, "Yeah, Bill, you won't eat that cupcake with the candle lit." And he's like, "Okay." And he just eats the whole cupcake with the candle and everything. Yeah, he was a character, man. I'm glad he brought this city their lone title, man.
I can't even remember what the story was, but I know he said that one story a couple times. But I remember we had him on. We were doing an interview with him at NBC too, and then he just goes into this rant about dinosaurs and. I had a dream I was on my bike and I rode to the top of a mountain. And when I got to the top of the mountain, I got on the back of a pterodactyl and we soared across the mighty Willamette Valley.
Exactly.
Like you're talking about. And then he starts name dropping and he's like, and on that trip, you could see Mount Hood and then you could see Corvallis off to the right. And then we approached Eugene and you could see the crystal clear water of Crater Lake in the distance. It's we get it, dude. Should have wrote a book. You could imagine, he could have wrote a book
I mean,
Like-
it just, if according to, the old legend, Chris, is, back in the day, and I hate to say back in the day, but 77 was a minute ago, was like, people would say they just see Bill Walton like riding his bike from, VMC back to where he lived. And, it was just kind of like, he was as Oregonian as Oregonian gets, man. Maybe even Oregonian before Oregonian was really a thing. If you get what I'm laying down, man.
he could have wrote an awesome movie like Heavy Metal, the movie, or that episode.
Or
that episode of South Park. If you know, you know. I don't need to go that much further, but like Bill Walton's describing his dreams could have just been like a movie that's like an anime, like. This is what an acid trip looks like.
I mean, you hear that story too that like, he took the, just in NBA history, right? Bill Walton also on the 86 Celtics team, one of the greatest teams of all time. And I remember hearing that story during the Bill Walton 30 for 30 when he's like, oh yeah, we took Larry Bird and, Danny Ainge to a Grateful Dead concert. And you're just like, really? Like, can you imagine Larry Bird at a Grateful Dead concert, Chris? I mean, yeah, what a character.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know why the Jailblazers got such a bad rap. I mean, Bill Walton was into the Grateful Dead. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. All right, if you want to join the conversation, share some Bill Walton stories. You can do it now. But of course, I think a great time to do that will be on that game on March 9th when the Pistons are in town and you get to celebrate all things Bill Walton that night. It's going to be a fun one. But again, youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio. Get in there right now. You can talk about Bill Walton and this Blazer game. And, of course, you can go grab your phone. 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. But before I go back to the phones real quick, I got to just one more time because in case you missed the radio call or missed the intro and you missed Travis, this was so good.
Drummond laying on the floor all sprawled out like he's dead.
I don't know. I don't know why, Brenden, but when Travis dropped that, like, you and I both laughed and then looked at each other. And this is how you know we're starting to get used to working with each other. Because you're just like, I didn't even say a word. You just looked at me and you're like, you want me to pull that? And I'm like, yep, I want to. Like, so we're learning. But good job, Travis.
Drummond laying on the floor all sprawled out like he's dead.
Yeah, we got to make sure Travis gets I'm going to have to text that.
Yeah, I mean, and just to, and not to, and, I guess the ironic part is, it's almost a little like the NFL where guys' shelf lives aren't very long. I know Drummond was only, Chris, in like the 2011 draft, but he feels old. And to have again, I think Travis said it was his highest scoring output in like 5 years.
Also, Gamian Skillard on the YouTube chat, who I've called out before for having an objectively awesome Blazer-oriented name here. Gamian Skillard. I mean, that's awesome. Throughout this topic here, some Blazer nickname ideas. He wants to call Sharp the Rim Reaper. I like that. A little too close to the Slim Reaper, but I get it. But then for Donovan Clingan, the Bristol Blockade. That flows. I mean, when you have coined yourself Gamian Skillard, I'm going to assume you're going to be able to get good nicknames. Keep them coming, Skillard. Keep them coming. All right, let's head out to the radio we are on the radio. Let's head out to the phone where our man Victor has been waiting patiently. Victor, welcome into the fifth quarter. What do you got tonight?
Hi, Chris. You won't believe it. Man. I'm so excited. I cannot even. I don't know how to call you because. After last night, I was so pissed off. You wouldn't believe, because I really don't believe that the Blazers deserve to lose. That's how I can say they did not deserve to lose that game. And I had the opinion, but later on, not tonight. I want to tell you how they could win that game by a few points. But I'm going to send you a message to your, Twitter on that. But that's gone. But what I'm saying is, after I was pissed off last night and I couldn't sleep, I said, tonight, what's going to happen? I don't know. So I used the quantum physics, I turned up the whole thing. I turned up the radio, the TV, everything. I said, no, I'm not going to take it anymore. And I rely on you because I know you have a high mana. I know you, Chris. You have a high mana. Your voice has a mana in it. So I said, well, I'm going to turn on after the game. And then when I was driving, I turned on the radio and I saw your voice and I could see the energy and the mana in your voice. I said, man, we made it, So I couldn't believe it. Besides on that, Chris, I tell you, on top of this, see what God gave me, the double reward. My Anthony Simon, and you said 34 points. Then I almost wanted to cry, man, because he's my favorite guy, man. For many years, and this is one of the few games that he has scored more than 30 points, and I really like that.
One.
I just really love it. And then, as I said, you brought me that news. That was the best reward for this new year. That was the best gift for me in this year, and I appreciate you. And I believe that the Blazers, they didn't quit from the last night. That really unfortunate accident. But as you said, they had a higher spirit, and I don't know. You explained it the best way. I don't know how to express that. How did they come back and beat this game, beat this 76ers? And they didn't they beat the Warriors? This 76ers didn't they beat Warriors?
The NBA is crazy. Everybody's beating everybody. You can't keep up with it. But, I mean, anybody can beat anybody, right? So, yeah, you're right. The 76ers, they can go out there. They can get wins. You can look at their schedule and go, oh, what happened? You're right. Last game, they beat the Warriors 126-119, and that's a good team. So you can't sleep on anybody.
Oh, man. Anyway, I cannot believe it. I mean, now do you believe in Blazer, Chris? Right now you believe in him?
I do. I like how they're playing.
No, I mean, what I'm saying, do you believe they are a good team? I don't say they're a champion, but do you think they're a really good team now? I
think they're getting better. I don't know if good is where they're at just yet. They still got holes, but I said it in the pregame show, Victor, and thanks for the call. But I said it in the pregame show that what about this team that I like right now is that they don't expect to lose, right? They aren't numb to losing, as in they haven't lost so much. They're like, oh, here we go. We're going to go lose again. And they're getting to the point. Denny Avdia gets a triple-double last night, a historic triple-double. One of only, 6 other players who have had a triple-double and scored 30 points on on 13 or fewer field goal attempts. Okay? The other guys in that category with him in that triple-double, Nikola Jokic, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson. Elite company. And he wasn't talking about the triple-double. He was mad that they lost, right? And you saw a couple games ago with Scoot Henderson. He had a pretty good game, and then he was asked about it after the game, and he's like, yeah, I'm just mad that I feel like I could have got people involved more. You have guys on this team right now who are not necessarily worried about the win-loss as much. They're worried about getting the team involved, playing good basketball. And then when they do lose games, they get irritated about it a little bit, right? And I like that because it shows that they are starting to turn that corner and have a little bit of faith in themselves, which I love. I know you love. I know the fans love. Shouldn't expect to lose. And for sometimes it feels like a team is like that, right? Oh, they just showed up. They didn't do it. No, they're focused right now. So I think right now what we've seen over the last 4 weeks, yeah, I would consider them a good team. Not really a playoff team. Someone mentioned it in the pregame show too, and I can't remember who it was in the chat, but it was talking about how it might be our buddy Kirk, but talking about chemistry. Like the team is finally playing with a little bit of chemistry. Took a little bit to get it, but the chemistry matters too, and that's just as important as any skill that you can bring to the table. Now, Brenden, Victor started right off with quantum physics, right? And I know why, but like I just laughed. And if you're watching the YouTube, you're like, why do you laugh? Because it's like this is all I can think whenever I hear those 2 words. Well, I can't do much unless I unmute it. There we go.
Edwards, what the hell happened?
Hesitated.
May I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die?
Well, she was the only one that actually seemed dangerous at the time, sir.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, first I was going to pop this guy hanging from the street light, and then I realized, he's just working out. And how would I feel if somebody come running in the gym, bust me in my ass while I'm on the treadmill? Then I saw this snarling beast guy, and I noticed he had a tissue in his hand. I realized, he's not snarling. He's sneezing. Ain't no real threat there. And I saw little Tiffany. I'm thinking, 8-year-old white girl, middle of the ghetto, bunch of monsters, this time of night with quantum physics books. She about to start some shit, Zed. She's about 8 years old. Those books are way too advanced for her.
That's all I can think about, Brenden. Way too advanced for her. Quantum physics books.
Hilarious.
Well done. And thanks for that, Victor. Thank you. But no, I do think this team is getting good. Getting good is important. I think they're doing it, and they're turning the corner, man. Still plenty of holes, right? And we've talked about that all season long. But what I like is I think if you were to equate this to like I'm trying to think of anything I can think of off the top of my head. But say you have a shirt, right? And you got a big old hole right there, right in the center of your shirt, right? And for some reason you're watching it, and the next day, the hole's getting smaller. Reverse. The hole's going in reverse, Brenden. The shirt's coming back together. I don't know. Is that quantum physics? Maybe. I don't know. But the point is, the holes that they have in their offense, the holes they have in their defense, the holes they have in their team, they are getting smaller. They're still there, but they're getting smaller, and the team is getting more complete. And I love the fact that if they keep playing like this and they end the season strong, it's a good thing. That's a real good thing. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, time for the Coach's Corner. Hand out a game ball and get out of here. We're tired. We're having too much fun. Brenden has to start his pregame prep tonight. I know how he goes. He leaves no stone unturned.
Now we've got spring football starting tomorrow, man, too. So I got double duty tomorrow.
Gosh, you're gonna be on my mode here, where you're like
we're both on double duty mode coming up, brother.
I had to take the IV out before we got it was a Monster Energy drink on slow drip direct to my veins just to get through the day, the energy. But hey, Victor said he heard my mana. That means, hey, I'm bringing the energy. I'm bringing it. I'm doing it. I'm having fun. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more coming up on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
For the latest on tonight's game, we head to the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups.
Coming off of the bench, I thought changed up how they wanted to guard us, having this shooting out there. So everybody played well. Everybody played hard. We played for one another. It was just an incredible team win for us.
They came out of halftime looking almost more energized, with more focused, or I guess with a goal. What was your message?
Yeah. I just told them to hang in. I thought we was in good shape. Didn't play particularly great, but our defense was good enough, and we shared the ball. We were getting pretty good shots. We really were. We just wasn't knocking them down. I said, don't get bored with it. Just don't turn over the ball. Do a good job rebounding, and we'll be in good shape. And we came out with actually more energy, and we needed it.
Talk about sticking with it too, Coach. 68 points in the paint tonight for you guys. It seems like 68 points in the paint tonight. It seems like you guys were able to get in there and make this.
Yeah, one of our points of emphasis in the game were trying to attack the paint, knowing that they were a really aggressive defense. If we can get past the line of scrimmage, we felt like we'd be okay. And we did so. And we just kept attacking, and we did a good job of converting today.
You've talked about when Shaden's locked in on the defensive end, it affects his offensive game in a positive fashion. How did you feel like he did defensively tonight?
Really good. I thought his defense was good all night. I know he was disappointed in himself a little bit, giving up some big baskets last night, and this is how you respond. You come in, you're completely locked in. I think offense is easy for Shaden. He can make it look very easy. The defensive side is totally different. When he's locked in defensively, it makes his offense even easier. So I thought he was great. Career high rebounding. We need those rebounds in a major way. I think he's maybe the most athletic guy in basketball. So I need him going to get those tough rebounds, and he did that tonight.
Rebounding. Go.
Obviously, Denny struggled with his shot. You like the way that he sort of didn't let it, stop his game and all.
Yeah, I thought Denny was forcing a little bit early. I took him out of the game in the first half, and I just pulled him over. And I said, Denny, just relax a little bit. Let the game come to you. Know that you got guys out there that's willing to, they can take a lot of pressure off of you. He said, Coach, you're right. He accepted it, and he just played the right way from then on. But that's what a team is all about, and I was happy that it's always somebody different every night for us, which I think makes us difficult, to prepare for.
A word on Toom's game, offensively and defensively, and the job is done on Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, he was the normal two. We try to get him to not shut guys down, but at least just make it difficult for them, make their life hard. And I thought he did a really good job on Tyrese tonight. I know Tyrese was really banged up. I hope he's okay. After that fall, I was worried about him. But, praise okay. But, yeah, Two did a really good job of just making it difficult, trying to fight through screens, fight over screens. Tyrese had some really good looks early, and he didn't knock him down, so you knew he was playing a little hurt. But Two did his normal thing. He just made somebody's life really hard.
We mentioned before the game that obviously Donovan was frustrated fouling out yesterday. Tonight, it kind of turned into a battle royale down low for the bigs. How great of an experience is that for him right now?
It's just it's a part of his development. I thought last night what he felt worse about today was he just felt he let the team down, not being able to be out there more. But this is how you learn, and Donovan is just such a winner, that he cares about that. I thought he did a really good job today of being focused on, not fouling, but not putting himself in the position to do it. Staying vertical the whole time. Could have blocked a few more shots, but I said I'd rather stay in the game and just defend the rim. It might not block it. So that's all we needed him to do, was be solid, and he was definitely that.
Who is the MVP tonight for the Trailblazers? It's time for Game Balls on Fifth Quarter.
Man, I'm getting called out, Brenden. Got people on Twitter going, hey, Burkhardt, finally a Blazers win with you on the air. What's your record now? just the math. I've missed 4 games. They're 3-1 in those games. So my record is a solid 25-33. Not bad. Not bad. It's not the 2-1 that Brendan's rocking. So hopefully his winning percentage continues to climb because he's going to be here Wednesday and Friday for.
And if I can lead us, Chris, to wins over the Celtics at the Garden, and then the Thunder, man. I mean, I'd be happy just to take one, but for everyone that's I go back to yesterday's game against Cleveland, and whether it was the fans that were frustrated, they maybe let one slip away, or you heard Chauncey say Shaden was kind of down on himself for allowing some shots yesterday. Blazers don't have to fret, Chris. I'm not saying they won't. They'll get a gift-wrapped opportunity like that again, but 2 more chances on this trip to kind of showcase yourself a little bit. You can go get a signature win.
Yeah, you have to. And again, I think if you lose those games too, as long as you play like you've played against Cleveland, where you did not get pushed over by a team that can do that to people, I think it's a win. And I know there's no such thing as a moral victory, but still, you kind of need those right now. Now, it is game ball time. I think there's only one way to go here. It has to be Ant. What a game. 34 points, shot 50% from the floor, 54% from beyond the arc. And they needed those points. I thought he was a big reason they were able to kind of flip the switch there in the second half, scoring 14 points in the third quarter alone, right? So pretty good performance from Ant. He gets the game ball. Also, I pulled this. This is my man, Dwayne Johnson, off of the Face Off song with Tech 9. Good song, by the way. I pulled this just for Victor. You can turn my PC back on if you haven't yet, Brenden. Extreme Mana. Just for Extreme Mana. Yeah, well, I vetted this one a little better, okay? Good thing you're fast on the dump button. My bad. But, Extreme Mana. I'm gonna keep that handy just for every time Victor calls. Next time Victor calls, Brenden, we're just gonna play that as all right, now Victor's on the phone. Extreme Mana. Yeah. I gotta find someone. I gotta find someone to use this for too when they call. Blake is on the phone.
Drummond laying on the floor, all sprawled out like he's dead.
It's gonna be
Travis, my man.
It's gonna be a soundbite for sure.
That was such. I don't know why it was so simple. You're literally just telling us what you're seeing, but it was just so good.
Laying on the floor, all sprawled out like he's dead, is Donovan Clingan, one of the few guys in this league that is bigger than Drummond, and he just tossed him aside.
Well done, Travis. All right, looking ahead here, the Blazers will be back in action on Wednesday, 4:00 tip-off at where, Brenden?
The Boston Garden.
Oh, see, there
TD Garden, I know. It's like me wanting to get him back in the 80s time machine.
That's right, you just call it the Garden. At the
Garden.
The Garden. Now, that is a 4:00 tip-off. Again, I will be out of town. Got to cover some high school championships. So Brenden will be in the driver's seat. He will have Blazers game day for you starting at 2:00. Please get on the phones, get on YouTube, give him hell. Give him hell. Make the young kid work. Roll him through the fire. He's got it, though. He's been doing a great job. So I appreciate you a ton, Brenden, because without you, I wouldn't have the flexibility to get some of this stuff done. And you will be back in the driver's seat on Friday as well, Oklahoma City. That's a 5:00 tip, 3 p.m. game day, and I will be back with you as the Blazers return home on Sunday for Bill Walton night against the Detroit Pistons. Once again, final score from Philadelphia. Your Portland Trailblazers 119, the 76ers 102. Back in it on Wednesday. Brenden will have game day for you at 2:00. Until then, Rip City, we'll talk to you on the next one.